said, just don't worry about it. Just give him to me. I'll fight on you, but I'll take care of him. Who can find a virtuous woman? Oh, come on, somebody. It's not over till God says it's over. So, you know, I'll get you the water, but now you want me to get you some bread too. Now, women today, y'all might say, now you asking for a little too much. Come on, somebody. Let me go in somebody's house right now. I see you on your jobs, boasting and bragging. I'm like, well, I ain't gonna do all that. Who you think he is? I be my husband. I'm not doing all that for him. Yeah. I'm gonna get you to laugh in a minute. Come on, somebody. But watch this. So she said, I don't have anything in my house. I want to have a handful of flour left in the jar. A handful of flour. A handful left in the jar. That's a small smidgen. Just a handful of flour left in the jar. That's all I got. Y'all still with me? Yeah. And I only have a little cooking oil in the bottom of the jug. And I was gathering a few sticks to cook this last meal. And then my son and I will die. I want y'all to look at 3 words here, 7 words here. Number 1, first word, handful. Second word, little. Third word, bottom. Fourth word, last meal. Lastly, die. Ain't that a sad picture? When you've been struggling and you've been striving, trying to make it, and every time you try to get 2 steps ahead, the enemy pushes you back another step, and you're trying to do the best that you can, and you find yourself always with just a little bit. But how many of y'all know today, women, that God would take a little and make a lot? And if you praise him up in this place, it's not over till God says it's over. But God said, he said, don't be afraid. He said, go ahead and do just what you have said. I hear what you're saying, but I want you to still go and do what you said. But make a little bread for me, for he's still insisting on her preparing for him first. Y'all listen to this thing here. I only have a little meal here, a little flour, a handful. So go do what you said you was going to do, but prepare for me first. See, women, y'all look at your present circumstances, and it seems as if what you have is not enough. But if you would just trust God with what little that you have, God will make it. Come on, somebody. I heard somebody say stretch, but God he will make that little that you got. He'll turn it into come on, somebody. He'll make it stretch. But we're looking at what we have before us. And we're not looking at the God that we serve. Are y'all still in the text? So how many of y'all trust God today? Here, I only have a little. And all I have is at the bottom of the jug. I don't know about y'all, but have you ever tried to fry a whole chicken and you don't have but that much oil? Come on, somebody. You're ready for it. You go into your kitchen, you put on everything, you season that bad boy real good, you roll it in the flour, and then you go to get your oil out the cabin, and you got your big iron skillet on the stove, and you pour the oil out, and you don't have enough. Turn it around and put it in the oven. Where's Brother Steve? You're right. Take what you got to get what you need. So the chicken, you got it. So when you bake it, it fill your desire, right? Come on, somebody. I know we're gonna get there in a minute. So last meal, so it's at the bottom of the jug, and I was gathering a few sticks to cook my last meal. I mean, I've been going through for so long, and I've been trying to do the best that I can. So I'm at a point now, I'm ready to give up and throw in the towel. Women, you've been at a point in your life, you just said, well, it's over for me now. I'm tired of struggling. I'm tired of dealing with this situation. I'm at the bottom. I've got my last. I want to have a handful, and it's getting on my nerves. I can't take it anymore. The stress is messing with me. My mind is perplexing. My children getting on my nerves. I got problems on God said, wait a minute. It's not over until I say it's over. But a lot of us women, see, we don't really trust God. Reverend, how they come on when we get a nickel above cab fare. Am I right? We think we got it all together. Come on, somebody. But it was nobody but the Lord that gave you what you got. I need some real women in this house today, some real mothers in this church that know what it means to be down to your last and knowing that when you stayed before God, God came in, stepped in right on time. He made a way out of no way. He opened doors that no man can close, open windows. Come on, it can't be shut. Come on, put money in your pocket when folk were blessing you and they didn't like you. But God stepped in when you thought it was over. He made a way. Come on, when the jailhouse doors opened up, come on, somebody. When you find yourself being promoted on that job, no, you didn't deserve it, but God stepped in and made a way out of no way because the little education that you got is your hand for. But God stepped in and made you blessed. He put you above and not beneath. He made you who you are. And somebody said, God made me who I am.
He sure did.
And I'm so glad that Mama prayed for me. Come on, somebody, because a lot of us, we are living off other folks' prayers anyway. But a lot of we to the point now when we don't even get up and thank God. It was nobody but God watched over you all night. Nobody but God guided you on the daily highways and byways. Nobody but the Lord put food on your table. Nobody but the Lord that blessed you and brought you. Nobody but the Lord that gave you what you got. Nobody but the Lord that made you the woman that you are. Oh, push this thing in a minute. Y'all gonna make me hurry on and get to where I got to get, but I'm coming to tell somebody, I'm talking about some real women, some mothers today that understand that even though you're faced with an obstacle in your life, even though the enemy put everything upon you, you take that handful that you got when you're at the bottom, almost out, it's almost over for you, but God stepped in the nick of time and said, wait a minute. Have you not forgotten who I am? Oh, good God Almighty. He will provide. Won't he provide for you? Let's watch this here. When Abraham was taking Isaac up to sacrifice him, as they was going up, and then he said, well, Father, I see the wood and the fire, but where is the sacrifice? Not knowing that he was the one that was about to be sacrificed. Now watch this here. Abraham was obedient to what God told him to do and sacrifice his only son. And because he was going to do what God asked him to do, his obedience brought about him being blessed by not being able to sacrifice his son. Because when he looked, the angel said, stay your hand, Abraham. And he looked, and there was a little ram up in the thickets. Come on, and that's where we get that saying from. When you can't find your way, when it's hard for you, and then somehow God has made a way. You say, well, that's you get ready to do a program, and the people that you put on the program don't show up. And you think you ought to get somebody to step in. God stepped in and put that individual to fill that void. Then you say, that's my ram in the bush. Come on, somebody. And you thought you was about to give up and sacrifice all that you had, but God stepped in and Abraham said, God, Jehovah Jireh will provide.
Yes, he will.
As long as you have a handful, all she had was a little. Now she's at the bottom. About to cook her last meal. Now when I eat my last meal, I just want to lay down and die. So we get to the point where we get to the point where we've been in these abusive relationships. Come on, somebody. We've had folk on our job to talk about it. Just because you're a woman, you can't do this and you can't do that. Well, can I come into church for a minute? I'm getting sick and tired of these people standing up behind my well. A woman not supposed to say nothing in the house of God. Just keep their mouth shut. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? But I come to beg the difference. When Paul told the women to keep silent in the church, and he said, you got anything that you are inquisitive about, when you get home, you ask your husband. Because I'm trying to teach the men right now, and I can't stop talking and teaching the men and answer your question. Okay. But look here. Look what he says here. But so Elijah told him, don't be afraid. He said, go ahead and do what you said you're going to do. Make me bread first. And he said, then what you have left, prepare a meal for yourself and your son. Now, for this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, said. This is what God says. This is what God says. What did God say? He's finna move. He's finna show you something. This is what God said. He said, there will always be flour and olive oil left in your containers. If you do what God says, there will always be something, food, finances, clothing, shoes, health, life, love, unity, God's favor. If you do what God says, there will always be some food in your house.